The Ministry of Defence is keen to persuade more civilians to join up, but its efforts to do so have come in for harsh criticism. Last week, a report by MPs said the MOD plan was badly thought out, formed without proper consultation, and risks creating capability gaps. But, as Laura Hawkins found out on her recent visit to Afghanistan, some reservists have few complaints about their experiences of army life.
Cut down the number of regular soldiers and replace the lost capacity with reservists. Well, it might have sounded easy on paper when the Ministry of Defence announced the reforms, but in reality it's been tough. The Army 2020 programme, announced in 2012, was meant to save money by reducing troop numbers from 100,000 to 82,500 and integrating it with a larger and more frequently used reserve of 30,000 up from 19,000. But the disappointing figures aren't through a lack of trying. Advertisements on the TV like this one tries to entice civilians who'd like a taste of the military lifestyle, and radio adverts are in abundance. The best advert, however, is the reservists themselves, and from being out in Afghanistan with them, it's evident how much they all love what they're doing. Since the start of Army 2020 restructuring, reservists are now playing an even more active role with the regulars, and many of them are getting the opportunity to serve on the last ever Op Herrick tour, like those attached to 2 rifles here at Camp SOUTER.
I'm Rifleman Ludgrove. I'm a reservist serving with B Company 2 rifles. Back in the UK, my civvy job is a snowboard instructor and coach.
I'm Kite. I'm a second lieutenant serving with 2 rifles. I'm a reservist, and in my civvy job I work for London Ambulance Service.
I'm Rifleman Truby. I'm a reservist serving with 2 rifles, and back home I work in labs in Oxford. I guess it's fairly dull compared to this, which is why I joined the reservists. It's something different. It's something I don't normally do. I did want to do it as a kid, running around in a wood with a stick, that kind of thing. So it just seemed right. I've joined it. The financial benefits are pretty good, I've got to say, and it's brought me here.
7 rifles are attached to 2 rifles whilst on their tour here. For Platoon Commander 2nd Lieutenant Joe Kite, it's not dissimilar to his job back home.
There are a lot of similarities here, to be honest. I do 12-hour shifts in London, working in a busy ops room, controlling vehicle movements around London for any ambulances that get broken, basically. And here it's very much the same sort of thing. I'm controlling movements, albeit a much smaller fleet of vehicles, but moving people around Kabul.
Their main role is force protection, making sure that Camp SOUTER is secure and that any military or civilians travelling around Kabul do so safely.
So this is one of the jobs we do quite routinely, picking people up from the airport, and with the drawdown from Bastion, quite a lot of stuff, kit is being reallocated to Kabul. So as this is going to be the sort of, hopefully the enduring presence in Afghanistan, you're sort of, we're facilitating that transition from almost war fighting to developing Afghanistan. So it's quite exciting to be playing a part in that. You get to meet all sorts of people coming in on flights, picking them up from the officer academy, just generally getting to have a look around Kabul, really. It's very different to anywhere I've ever been. But yeah, it's all exciting stuff.
Rivalry and banter between the regulars and reserves has always been rife, and things aren't any different now.
Yeah, there's a bit of banter, especially initially when you rock up. They're kind of sussing you out, seeing what you're about. Yeah, and you do sort of feel that divide initially. But I think once we get out here, we're all doing the same job. And I think they appreciate that. We're all in the same boat and we've got the same job to do. So I think very quickly they kind of, once the first few weeks are over, you get all the jokes out of the way. And then they sort of warm to you. It takes a bit of time, but yeah, they get there in the end.
Afghanistan may be coming to an end, but the reservists here are still confident that there's plenty of positives about joining up.
the reservists are certainly starting to step into the limelight. More pressure's been put on the reservists to bring more blokes into the regular army, which means that the reservists have to be on the ball. Gone are the days of sort of weekend warriors and all that sort of thing. Reservists are very much play an active part in operations and training. As you know, this is going well, and you know, I'd like to see more of it. The pairing of the two battalions.
Reservist numbers are low, but if these testimonies of the boys and girls on the ground are anything to go by, civilians should be lining up to get the opportunity for the experience, adventure, extra money and the challenge that being a reservist brings. Laura Hawkins, Forces News, Afghanistan.